everyone, my name is Alicia Jones and I am going to be explaining the difference between empathy and sympathy. Let's begin. So let's start off with the basics. First of all, what is the definition of empathy and sympathy for those who do not know? So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition of empathy is the action of understanding and being aware of or sensitive to the feelings or thoughts of another person. So as you can see on the left side of this picture, empathy shows two people just listening. Another example would be putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Now let's go back into the definition of sympathy. The definition of sympathy is the act or capacity of entering into or sharing the feelings of another person. Now, this may seem very similar to the definition of empathy in the examples I gave you. However, it is very different, and I'm about to explain why. So, as you can see on the right side of the picture for sympathy shows two people giving unasked advice. Another great example is when you are sympathizing with someone, you may try to silver line something. So when you silver line something, let's say for example, your friend studied 4 days for this test, they felt great during the test. Turns out when they got their score back, they got a D on the exam. Now, when you silver line this situation, you're going to say, well, at least you got a B on the other exam that you studied for. You're not really going into how they're feeling, you're just kind of trying to make them feel better. Which brings me into my next example. How to show sympathy or empathy when someone has lost a loved one. So everyone goes through grief very differently. The way I grieve may not be the way you grieve. So let's talk about how we sympathize or empathize. When we show sympathy for someone who has lost a loved one very close to them, all we can simply say in that moment is, I'm sorry. Now, this may seem very, very simple. However, if we don't know what to say, sometimes that may be the perfect thing that we can say. When you empathize with someone when they have lost a loved one. For example, I've never lost someone close to me, so obviously I don't know what to say in that moment. However, if my close friend lost a parent or a grandparent, someone that was really close to her, I would say, I may not know what you are going through. However, I completely understand your sadness and your frustration on how or why this happened. Something I always tell my friends is I might not know what to say in that moment. However, I will always listen to you because sometimes people don't always want a response to what they're going through. They just simply want someone to listen to them. And to end on a final note, remember, in order to show someone that you are empathizing with them, just show them that you have an understanding. Like I said, and I'm going to reiterate, I always tell my friends, I might not know what to say, but I will always be here for you and I will always listen to you. And then when you're showing sympathy, just remember sometimes a simple sorry is completely okay.